Last year, I took a look at the DC Comics relaunch. This year, in 2015, the New 52 has finally done the one thing I've been waiting for it to do since it began. Go away. They call this event Convergence, a storyline showing various cities from various parts of the DC multiverse being scooped up in giant domes and stuck on another planet for a year thanks to Brainiac. But when the domes come down, it's time to fight. In other words, this is an excuse to bring back the old 52 to try and please fans who are still bitter about the reboot. Well, I'm sorry to say that it's not gonna work. You hurt me, DC, and frankly, I don't trust you not to hurt me again, with your empty promises and your... Okay, no drama, just like pulling off a band-aid, just nice and quick. Oh, okay. I honestly don't even know where to start here. How long has it been? 3 years? 3.5? Okay, Eeny, meeny, miny, Superman, Man of Steel. Wait, hold on. I see a Steel, but not a Superman. You're lying to me, aren't you? Steel is kind of like a mix between Superman's personality and Iron Man's suit, like Steel Man, except sounds less terrible. He very famously wasn't adapted into a 90s movie starring Shaquille O'Neal, because that would have been awful! In this story, Steel and his niece and nephew go up against Gen 13, a superhero team who I know absolutely nothing about. But they do seem to have the Human Torch on loan, so that's pretty impressive for a DC property. Anyway, the fight goes really well. For Gen 13. But who cares if you're paralyzed from the neck down? This is comic books. We can turn you into a shape-shifting cyborg. You can make friends with the guys who beat you up, and you can beat the guy who's beating them up. Zod bless America! And that just about sets the tone for the entire event. In basically every time I've read, it's pretty much the same thing. Dome comes down, everybody fights, then they team up. Is it overdone? Yeah. Is it awesome? Definitely. In fact, this series in particular, I have to say... Wait a minute. What the bloody hell is that? Steel's lucky though. While the domes are up, any actual superpowers are turned off because the plot says so. Take for example Billy Batson, who would normally speak the magic words and become Earth's mightiest mortal, Shazam!
No, that'd be stupid. His name is Captain Marvel.
How did you get in my house?
I didn't. How did you get into my house?
I have so many questions. Like, did you read this comic?
Oh, that comic? Oh yeah, I read it.
It's actually kind of weird here. This was the very first tie-in I picked up, so I actually thought the dome was literally just blocking the lightning from transforming them. Doesn't seem to bother these guys though. What's their deal?
This one actually takes a pretty long time for the dome to drop, so for most of the story, we're just following 3 kids getting in way over their heads. But once it does... Shazam!
Can't overlook the cartoon tiger flying a plane! You won't see that in the New 52.
No, but you'll see a tiger grow gigantic and attack Black Adam after being struck by lightning.
Okay, fine. That is kinda cool. Understandably, life under the dome isn't working out for everyone, like this guy who tries to suicide bomb a crowd.
That's just inconsiderate, and it's getting to some of the heroes too, like the Flash.
Which one? There's like 7.
Wally West.
Oh, I haven't seen him in a while.
I know, right? He accidentally dragged his kids in with him to Gotham before it got domes, and so spends a lot of his time trying to crack the dome open with anything he can find. It's a contest between him and the Atom for who's going craziest since the dome went up.
You ask me, the former fastest man alive is pulling ahead.
The Atom spends his comic in full costume talking to voices in his head.
But the Flash hit the dome with a stick! A stick!
That was a pickaxe, actually.
That's a type of stick. While everyone else is going crazy, Roy Harper, also known as Speedy, also known as Red Arrow, also known as Arsenal, really, take your pick, is going sane. After losing his arm, his daughter dying, and relapsing into drug addiction, it turns out being trapped for a year was just the therapy he needed, which is why he fitted half of Gotham City with giant guns. What?
Garfield Logan, Beast Boy, able to morph into animal forms. He's been stuck as a green pigeon for a year.
I've been traumatized!
This one sees the Teen Titans battling a powerful villain team called the Extremists. But Roy is the real star here, managing to kick his habit and turn his life around completely. Here man, have a free resurrected daughter on the house. And you know, you've been a big help around the community, so take a free Uncle Ben and a Gwen Stacy while you're at it. Seriously, you earned it. This is actually one of the big draws of Convergence. Miss it as I do, the old universe did have its share of mistakes and absolute garbage. Now we get to fix some of the mistakes they left off with, such as undoing the pointless, mean-spirited death of the second Atom, Ryan Choi, and getting some payback against his killer, Deathstroke.
Aw, that's a happy ending if I ever saw one.
Hold on, you're not the guy from before.
No, I'm not. The name's Jules Chan. I was drawn to the presence of your Superman tie-ins for Convergence. You might say it created a convergence between your YouTube channel and mine.
That sounds contrived.
Don't worry, the same thing kind of happened between me and Comic Uno a few weeks back, the last time I was talking about this event.
Oh, so you want to talk about... Hey, wait a second!
I took them. Thank you. They're mine. I'm just gonna put you in data storage.
Hey Jules, here's a question for you. What happens when the Earth's strongest hero gets trapped in one of the most corrupt and crime-infested cities on Earth with his wife and then loses all his superpowers?
He rolls up his sleeves, throws on the Netflix Daredevil cosplay, and goes around protecting the streets, or as I like to call it, doing his job. It has been almost 4 years since I've seen this wonderful man. Not only is he acting like how Superman should, but he and Lois are expecting a child. I swear I cried every single time I read this story.
That is so sweet. What are those two crazy kids up to in the New 52 anyway?
Oh, well, he's still dating Wonder Woman. Lois revealed his secret identity on the news, ruining his civilian life, forcing him to go on the run while he's weak and vulnerable.
So it's a bit of a rough patch. Gotcha. They're up against the Jerk-Ass League from the Flashpoint universe. For those of you unaware, Flashpoint was the storyline that kicked off the reboot to begin with. And pre-reboot Superman is beating them up.
Symbolism, you be the judge.
Of course, you can't have a pregnant woman in this kind of story without her going into labor. Clark, being Clark, manages to smooth things out with Flashpoint Batman, who just so happens to be Dr. Thomas Wayne, who helps with the birth.
It's a beautiful baby boy!
But not every superhero is standing by waiting to protect any one city. There is one hero who stands behind the scenes of Convergence trying to unravel the whole plot from within. The man who came from the future seeking fortune and fame only to become a real hero. Booster Gold! New 52 edition. Fine. Well, who's he teaming up with? Booster Gold Classic. Oh, I see what you're doing.
I think I'm a clone now. There's always two of me just hanging around.
Like I said, this one breaks the formula. Mostly. Booster, and company break out of one of the cities. Only problem is that Booster Classic is dying. Apparently, cramming yourself through time and space isn't very good for you.
Fortunately, they bump into Booster Gold's old pal Ted Cord, the Blue Beetle, who is best known for tragically dying to save the world. Being a time traveler, Boosters tried to save him 100 times, but it never works. But even if Booster can't save Ted, maybe Ted can help save Booster.
And then they kiss.
I await your fan fiction and fan art now, my friends. Let's keep this ship going.
With moments to live and no real cure, Booster's friends take him for one last trip to a place called Vanishing Point with a chamber of pure time energy. Placing him inside, his body is dissolved, but his soul and mind remain. And around them, a new body is formed. Booster Gold becomes... Carrot Top? Carrot Top! Okay, so... were you going for Flamehead Cosmic God? Because... what you ended up with was... Carrot Top. Okay, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm feeling a little stuck. I mean, after that, where am I meant to go from here?
That is the question. And the answer is also the question.
The Last Angry Geek? Host of comic book issues?
Perhaps in this infinite universe, I would not call it impossible. However, if anyone out there were interested in watching the Last Angry Geeks videos, they could go right here.
Could you stop that, please?
Make me. It's a free internet. Sucker didn't pass. You might know the question as a faceless conspiracy nut detective from the Justice League cartoons. Well, he died. Pre-Flashpoint, he was succeeded by his protege, Renee Montoya. The original question, Vic Sage, is featured in the Blue Beetle tie-in. However, this story focuses on Renee.
Renee is stuck in a part of Gotham saturated with crime and social decay, populated either by victims or the worst humanity has to offer.
So, one of Gotham's more well-adjusted districts. So far, we've seen battles that could level cities and all manner of costume monsters. This is the story of someone trying to save a mentally damaged man from himself while her sick father dies in the hospital.
Ooh, this just hits a little too close to home for me.
Oh, gosh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, my sister didn't have a face either. More specifically, Renee is looking out for everyone's favorite schizophrenic, Two-Face. On the one hand, he's helping her find medical supplies for those in need. On the other, he's a suicidal wreck. And also a dangerous supervillain, but Renee is kind enough to overlook that.
When the dome drops, Two-Face realizes there's another Harvey Dent out there and makes it his mission to find him. One way or another, Harvey Dent is going to die. It's up to Renee, Huntress, and Batwoman, a trio with their share of relationship issues, to stop him from killing an innocent man. This story uses the whole alternate universe angle in a way most of the times didn't even think of. It makes for a pretty great story, don't you think?
Yeah, but you know, it's kind of got me thinking about Convergence as a whole.
Oh, I can tell this is going to be uplifting.
Here we have two Harvey Dents as completely separate characters, which really just drives home that this Superman and that Superman are completely different as well. The guy heading the Superman comic book now is not the same character I grew to love and admire. And now that Convergence is over, we're just going back to this new guy. And maybe the new guy's alright. There's gonna be good books, and there's gonna be awful ones, but my interest in the New 52 died a long time ago. And yeah, you can stop calling it the New 52 if you want, but if I legally change my name to Benjamin Franklin, does that make me a founding father?
Jeez, man, what do you want me to do? Hire you a clown?
Is it her? Is it just a hat? Spandex? Am I dreaming? Can I actually recognize my favorite character again? My Harley. She's back.
Personally, I prefer the new 52 design. Frankly, the character's look hadn't changed even slightly since she was created. So I think it was about time.
'Cause you were amazing! We did amazing things, and I wouldn't change it!
This is your moment. Just, as you were.
Under the dome, Harley is stuck in Gotham, where... Gotham? Again? Did anyone not get stuck in Gotham? Brainiac's City Collection is seeming less and less impressive with each passing issue. Anyway, Harley is actually making a big recovery. She's not wearing her costume, she's not breaking any laws, she's even dating a cop who she put in the hospital. She's a perfectly happy, functioning member of society. So, naturally, her best buddies Catwoman and Poison Ivy have to go and shoot her up with adrenaline and stick her back in her costume because the sky told them to. Seriously.
Citizens of my world, I have brought this convergence upon you. I have tended to your every need, but now...
Is that a picture of Harley? And a rabbit! Harley has to fight the rabbit! What? Why? The Sky God has spoken! Look up there. Maybe she has to fight Blue Beetle. What, don't you think my Harley can put down a silly rabbit? Well, of course she can. That's not the point. Then we agree. Time to rev up the Harley. Why do we even hang out again?
I'm not even joking. For all intents and purposes, Harley and Ivy completely ruined Harley's perfectly happy life because an alien wanted to show everyone his DC Comics slideshow. That's stupid! Also, yes, Harley is fighting a superhero bunny rabbit named Captain Carrot. Yes. He's pretty tough, but even he can't stand up to Harley, so his robot pig friend comes to help. And neither can he, of course. When you fight Harley Quinn, your gods abandon you. Okay, for real though, some robots just show up and teleport the guy back home. Because... Wait, she does need to fight a specific opponent? Well, that's news to me!
Did you even read the main Convergence series?
No.
You're not missing much.
Sorry I pretended to murder your pig friend. It was probably funnier in my head than it turned out.
Oh, Harley, you rascal. Never change. Seriously. When Convergence was first announced, this was the one comic I wanted to read. Everything else, that was all just a bonus. And I knew from the word go that this would be the comic they screwed up. This would be one of the worst things I have ever read in my life. But it's not. And they did. I loved this comic. And frankly, I can't think of a better compliment than that.
My work here is done. Just remember, Sideburns, if you ever find yourself in a jam, never bother me again.
Did anyone else see that?
In my time, though maybe not on this channel, I have said a lot of bad things about DC since 2011. But now, I finally concede. They listened to us, and they did something right. They gave us what we asked for, and did a damn fine job. Nice work, DC. You did good. Ugh, I feel all dirty now. I didn't buy a single tie-in that I disliked. Now that's an accomplishment. Sort of makes me wonder what's going on with Marvel with their Secret Wars crossover. Universe ended and everybody died? Okay, good. Word was starting to make sense there for a second. Congratulations on making it to the end. I'd like to give a big shout out and thank you to my 3 guest stars, John Haslak, Jules Chan, and of course, Brian Hines of Comic Book Issues. When I asked, I was really not expecting him to respond, let alone agree. I'd love it if you'd subscribe to me, but I'd also really appreciate it if you clicked here to check them out. Thank you everybody, and stay positive.
Jeez, man, what do you want me to do? Hire you a clown?